It was a strange one. I didn't leave home as such. What happened was I left university, and I was living in Cornwall at the time. I left my course because of my mental health. I couldn't complete it, unfortunately. And so I was all sort of on my own. I was isolated, couldn't afford it, and my mental health got a lot worse. So I was really struggling. And to make matters worse, my landlord as well, they were selling up their house. So they're sort of asking us to move on anyway.
I came for an interview and they agreed that although I hadn't been kicked out of home, my home setting wasn't supporting me because I wasn't getting the opportunity to study and I wasn't really doing the things that I needed to do for myself.
At the time, was obviously those where me and my mother was clashing at home, and it was getting to the point where it was getting quite unacceptable. Like I was getting really irate. I was damaging property. I even, obviously, shamefully, attacked my mum on numerous occasions, and I was pretty much left with not many other options than to leave.
It was difficult at first, mostly because of my mental health. It was difficult to reach out to other people and ask for help in the first place. I was quite insular, quite inward-looking. I had a lack of motivation. I was kind of nihilistic in many ways that I didn't think there was any point to anything. It's almost the end kind of thing. But when I did reach out, the support workers that I had were very supportive, very approachable, very friendly, and they helped me get in contact with the mental health team regarding my mental health, helped me get in contact with Step Change, the national debt charity, because I was in about £7,000 of debt at the time.
Surprisingly, at the time, it was actually fairly easy. Like, there's loads of projects not far from me, obviously, but they pointed me in the right direction towards the YMCA foyer, and that was when, and all I did was, obviously, the next day I came over, I dropped in, I asked about, obviously, what they could do, and obviously they handed me an application form, and I filled it in, handed it in, and then within the next couple of days I was offered an interview here, so...
I think having someone to talk to is the most important thing. I don't think it was about leaving home and coming into a supported setting. I think the most important thing was having somebody dedicated to me that I could talk to anytime I needed to, and somebody who was invested in me without wanting anything back, or without it being about themselves. That was, I think, the greatest support I received.
It's made a big difference. I think it's not just it's not just in the short term. I think in the short term it was great getting that signposting me to other areas, but I only really, I think, noticed the effects, as in stopped to think about the effects years afterwards. It's only when I've looked at where I've come afterwards that I realised that actually I had a lot of support, a lot of kindness offered to me.
It made me a bit more of a rounded person, obviously, being introduced to, because I have Asperger's syndrome, I have high function autism, so I've always had like kind of difficulties, social side of things, and I've come a long way since then. But but at the time I kind of had my difficulties, so it pretty much helped me quite drastically.
What do I hope for the future? Okay. I hope that I can create a consistently supportive environment for my daughter, and I hope that I can continue to develop and progress and challenge myself and grow as a person.
Because of my condition, people have this kind of one vision, obviously people with Asperger's and high function autism, that oh, are you sure they can do this? Can they do this? And they kind of doubt my abilities, and I felt quite, I don't know, it made me feel quite negative with myself. It's more the kind of believing in myself, so knowing that I can do things without forms of hesitation or listening to any negativity that's projected on me.
For me, it's about making a positive difference and improving myself. So I think I mentioned I'm planning to be a candidate for the local elections, and the reason I want to do that is, I'm interested in politics, but I'm interested in politics because I want to make a bigger difference to as many people's lives as possible, And I think whether that's locally or nationally, that's going into election, being an elected official and representing others, it's quite important to me. I think I can make that difference.
I think my advice would be just don't be afraid to ask. Find out obviously where your local council is, and just first point of call, go to your local council and ask about any forms of support. If that fails, go to Citizens Advice maybe, because they can usually point you in the right direction in terms of homelessness and any form of support.
I would say try and find as much information as possible and don't leave it to the last minute. I think some people, and I did it with homelessness when I was being homeless, and I did it with my debt as well, sort of bury our heads in the sand and sort of hope it just goes away. It sort of reminds me of the Shaun of the Dead phrase, like just go into the wind chest and wait for it all to blow over. It doesn't work like that. So as soon as you can act, the better for you. So.
I'd say absolutely go for it, because you've got nothing to lose. There's no shame in asking for help. Don't feel like you don't deserve it. Don't feel like you're scared of being rejected, because you're not going to be. If you're approaching a supported setting like this, or if you're seeking counselling and it's a service that provides counselling, don't hesitate. It's not worth, because the pain of not facing it will always be greater than the pain of facing it. And the pain of resisting it is always going to be far greater than what there is to face when you do get to that person who's going to support you. So go for it, you've got nothing to lose.
Thank you to all those who shared their stories with us, and to the YMCA for their tremendous work and their facilitation of this video. If you're facing homelessness and are unsure about what to do next, or if you want to talk about anything else, The Mix are here to help.